Welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk, a traditional Wiccan podcast where we will discuss topics affecting the pagan community from a traditionalist perspective. The topics we discuss are picked from our magical hat, and the discussions are unscripted. The talks will be led by Lord Chase Knight Smith, Elder and High Priest of Third Degree, and he's joined by Keegan, First Degree Priestess. Pagan Coffee Talk is brought to you by Life Temple and Seminary.
Welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk. I'm Keegan. As always, Lord Knight.
Don't sound so excited about it.
I'm as excited as you are.
Yay. We need more caffeine.
Okay, are you ready for our topic?
Yes.
What are your biggest pet peeves in the pagan community?
Oh my God.
I told you.
Oh. Our producer's going to hate us after this one.
I told you you'd like it.
Let's see. What irritates me about the pagan community at large?
Mm-hmm.
Some of this even qualifies, our own traditions.
It does. It does.
It does.
Not us, of course.
What really does irritate me is, people can't give to their temples, but one of the things they can do is like go out and splurge $200. Oh, look at this nice little pentacle or crystal I bought.
Yeah.
What about your dues to temple? Oh, well, I really ain't got money this month for that. Really?
Well, no, because they just spent it on that pentacle, that crystal.
I really get aggravated, especially when I get them emails about classes, and they start asking me about it, and I'll sit there and go, okay, the closest person I have that can teach you is maybe 2 hours, 3 hours away. Oh, right. No, that's too far. Or the ones that will call, and even if it's just an hour away, oh, that's too far. Well, how close do you want them? In your living room?
Well, it sounds like you're saying, with both of those things together, you're saying that people aren't making sacrifices for their coven.
But no, they're not. Or sacrifices to learn to begin with. I remember when I first found Lord Men, which, finding a qualified teacher wasn't as easy as, oh, here, let's just go on, YouTube and watch dumb videos.
Well, you said qualified.
Right. It took us quite a while. And then it took me quite a while to convince them. Now, I live in North Carolina. Lord Men at the time lived in South Carolina. And it was roughly about a 2-hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
Once a month, on a weekend, I'd leave home, drive the 2 hours by myself, do my classes, and drive back. And then, to get these people, that's, oh, well, you mean it's 30 minutes away? What?
Right.
What do you mean I have to drive 2 hours? Well, what do you think you were going to have to do? I think last person that called me up and I said that to them, I replied, that any traditionalist group you find, you're going to have to drive to.
Oh, yeah.
And the expectation is you're going to have to drive.
Yeah. Are they thinking that you'll come to them?
I don't know. It really confuses me. I'm kind of like, what the... I know over the years you've heard me complain about people. Certain things that they do.
Just a little.
Like I know one of your pet peeves, which is, what do you hate to hear?
A lot.
Uh-huh.
You have to narrow that down.
Uh-huh. What's the one phrase I know you hate that just grinds your gears?
Again, it's a lot. You're going to have to narrow it.
Oh, I'm a baby witch.
Baby witch is my biggest pet peeve. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is it. Mm-hmm. Either you are or you are not a witch. There's no such thing as a baby witch unless you are, in fact, an infant.
True.
And if you're a witch, you've had some training. So that word baby shouldn't be in there.
No, it shouldn't. I don't understand people's not wanting to refer to themselves as a neophyte. Oh, I can't do that. That's too traditional.
I don't understand people's problems with saying, hey, I'm a witch, and I have a question.
I have a problem with these people who have, like, read a book and then the next day self-dedicate, then go around and either call themselves Lady Green Bean or, you know, Lord Farts a Lot.
Lord forever.
In the traditionalist community, those who have Lord and Lady, those are titles.
That are earned.
That are earned. Does that mean I can go out and self-dedicate myself and call myself the Grand Poopah of all witches?
Of all things holy.
With the subtitle, you know, y'all almost worship me at my feet now. I mean, but no, to sit there and somebody calling themselves Lady Green Bean, blah, 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 and then, you know, we'll sit there and see a traditionalist witch or something or on a chat group and go, how do you get rid of negative energy? You're referring to yourself as lady and you don't know how to do this?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that truly irritate me are the ones that look at me and go, I can't be part of a traditional coven. It's too confining. Well, what's confining about it? I don't know. I just think it would be too confining.
Right, they don't know.
So you've never been part or tried to be part of a traditionalist group or learned from them, but you're automatically assuming that, you know, we're confining. Yeah, we can be a little bit of stiff shirts every so often, but that would be about the equivalent of me going, oh, you're a solitaire. Yes, precious. Bless their heart. And treating somebody like a complete idiot.
Well, here's a question for you.
All right.
How do you feel about solitaires who claim to be in a religion? Is that a pet peeve of yours, or is that fine with you?
They can follow a religion. As far as them personally, I would probably point out to them, you know, the federal government requires, you know, for you to be a religion, that you have to be part of the community. You can't be a religion of one.
No.
It's a little annoying. You know, suggestions to students and stuff like that. A, be open-minded. B, write down your questions because you're going to forget when you come into class and nobody ever listens to you.
They just pick and choose.
You get these calls and stuff, you know, about people doing stuff or wanting your advice about something. You give your advice and then they go leading off and, you know, they feel better about themselves in the whole 9 yards. Then 3 weeks later, they're back in there complaining about the same thing again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then you mentioned that you had mentioned this before. Oh, yeah, I meant to do that.
Right. Or no, I didn't take your advice. That's not what I did. I didn't do that.
Right.
Then why are you back?
Then why are you back? Even if I, you know, just told you, hey, just meditate on it for a little while and come back and talk to me about it. What did you meditate on? Well, no.
Right. Well, get that done before you come back.
It really bothers me to, like, watch certain podcasts and stuff like that, and I was listening to one. I know I went off on this when I heard it, but the lady was this is a lord and lady of a coven, and the lady's sitting there going, yeah, I need to, you know, next week I'm going to try to at least meditate twice a week.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It is a daily thing.
It is a daily thing. I don't get it. How can you not meditate daily?
Well, I know how they don't, but my question is, how do you not meditate daily and then have all these questions or feel, you know, certain ways and go, I don't understand? Well, I do. You ain't meditating every day.
or they're not meditating. I don't want to say correctly, but they're trying to do that transcendental meditation to hit that higher plane and not realizing that they need to be doing inward so they can clear out their own things first.
Right.
Oh, no, I've dealt with all my issues. I see a therapist. I take medication. That's not dealing with your issues. Yes, you should take medication if you need to, and yes, be honest and upfront with your therapist.
But be honest and upfront with yourself.
Right. That you are personally going home and you are meditating on these issues. A lot of people would be surprised at how fast that speeds up that process.
Mm-hmm.
To actually meditate. Oh, well, I have a fear of flying. Well, meditate on it. Dig down. Figure out what that, where that fear came from.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the therapist can sit there and literally read your mind and go, oh, yeah, here, because when you were 4 years old, you tried to jump off the roof.
Right.
With an umbrella after your siblings told you it would be all right and laughed at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't remember it, but hey.
Thank God I'm a mind reader.
Thank God, I have this, innate ability to know exactly what in the world you're thinking. But no, I think what really drives me up the wall the majority of times are these people who have assumptions about traditionalists in general.
And they do.
Sit back going, if you're part of a coven, then you're going to have sex with somebody. No, that's not true. You probably are going to want to have sex with somebody at some point or another in your life.
Probably.
But you don't necessarily have to do it as part of your religion.
Right. Yeah.
Or this, thought of, if I'm part of a temple or a coven, that I can only worship with them. What? How many times have you ever heard me sit there and go, hey, what you do in the privacy of your own home is your business?
Oh, God, that's your favorite thing to say.
My assumption is that you are having your personal, private rituals.
Well, we've talked about that before. That personal relationship that you have to build.
Yeah. It ain't none of my business. Now, when I'm teaching you, I'm going to give you certain assignments and stuff to do certain things, but, oh my God.
Which brings up a pet peeve, what you just said. Here's a pet peeve. Yeah, you give us assignments, you give us things to do, suggestions, ideas, advice. Now,
right.
We're going to assume that most people come to you like I did, seeking more knowledge, seeking the truth and all this. Correct? You're giving it to us. You're saying, here's what you need to do. Here, I'm giving you the tools. Here's what you can do to do that. And instead of doing it, they're lazy. And they don't. And they continue to go to you with the same questions. And it's laziness is the reason why they're not doing these things. Because they don't want to. Meditating isn't fun. Meditating can be boring. Meditating is not entertaining. Meditating takes too much work. Meditating takes time out of my day. I can't do what I want to do because I have to meditate. I don't want to write this paper because I have to, I want to do anything else. It's laziness.
Yeah.
That's what kills me. Is why are you coming to me? Why are you coming to whoever? And you're asking these questions. They're saying, here's the answer. Oh, I don't like that answer, though. No, I don't want to do that to get the answer. But they continue to come back.
And it drives me up the wall to be sitting there and listening to these people going, oh, well, y'all are gatekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
Mm-hmm.
Of course we are. I mean, what part of mystery religion did you not understand?
That's right.
Everybody comes to you and they expect you to lay all this stuff out in front of you and go, oh, well, here it is. Everything.
No.
And then, people are solitary or part of those eclectic groups.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, but y'all are gatekeeping. Well,
yep.
Duh, it's our tradition. You want to learn those secrets of our tradition, join the tradition. Ain't that the point?
No. And what? What'd I just say? They're too lazy. Just give me the answers up front.
Now, I've been to a lot of gathers and stuff like that. And I've been to some gathers that had less traditionals there. One thing that does drive me up the wall, and it's going to sound petty, are the ones that are curious, who want to talk to me, figure out who I am and all this other stuff, but they act so timid and they'll just like stalk you.
Right.
When you're there and you're like, oh my God, really? Like, we haven't noticed you, like, within the first 5 seconds of you following us around.
Oh, they're intimidated.
I don't think I'm that intimidating.
Uh-huh.
Generally speaking, I think I'm a very approachable guy.
You are, but we don't know that until we've actually done it.
I'm sorry, that drives me up the wall.
Backbone. People don't have backbone, and it's the same people that call themselves baby witches. You don't have the backbone to come out and say you're a witch, because you might make a mistake, and then somebody might say something critical. And then if you say, I'm a baby witch, well, then you have that umbrella, that safety net to fall back on. I'm just learning. Because nobody has the backbone to go, yeah, screw you. Same reason why they don't come up to you and go, hey, excuse me, may I ask you a question? No. They just want to follow you around like a lost puppy because they don't have any backbone. I mean, what's the worst going to happen? You're going to turn around and go, leave me alone? Fine, screw you. I'm not walk off. It's the backbone.
Well, I mean, I'm still back to, it's weird to me. Because like I said, from my viewpoint, I don't think I'm intimidating.
Well,
I mean, even when I'm talking to my students, and I got you in the classroom, I encourage everybody to ask me questions. The worstest answer you're going to get, and I will be upfront and honest with you, is that's a mystery.
It's a mystery. Mm-hmm.
I'm not being ugly. I'm not being mean. It's a mystery.
Right.
That's the worst thing you're going to get from me. So, I mean, if I'm going to tell that to my students, why wouldn't I just say that to somebody asking me questions?
No, and you are, especially, I always say this, if it's someone who is not a student, you're very personable once you start talking to them. You're not, an angry person.
I think this is true of all high priests and priestesses of traditions. Everybody wants to think that we're on some pedestal or something, or got some ego or something.
Mm-mm.
But the majority of us are pretty down-to-earth people.
You are, especially with anybody outside of your coven.
Yeah.
You'll treat people in your coven a little bit more than you will outside.
Well, I mean, expectations have been made. I mean, that's the one thing you got to understand is once you are a member, there are expectations.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
And you just have to get over that.
You just have to get over it. That's right. Just get over it.
But the majority of times we're not asking those members to do anything that we hadn't done at some point ourselves.
Right.
We've all washed dishes. We've all had to clean house. We've all had to set up altar. We've all had to sit there and listen to our elders meander on for hours on end about something we don't care nothing about. Just to get to the good stuff.
Right. 3 hours of hell for 5 minutes of knowledge.
Yeah. It happens. The majority of the time, sometimes what you'll realize is that 3 hours of the hell actually turns out to be more information than the 5 minutes of knowledge you gain.
Not always. No. Because it's not always witchy talk. Sometimes it's, car talk or their doctors or whatever. And it's like, oh, come on. Nobody cares about your old changes. Let's go.
I'll remember that next time you ask me what I've been doing.
Not you.
Here, I want to make sure everybody understands how I can push your buttons here. So let's talk about these people and their sage.
Oh my God. Yeah, I push yours. Let's talk about people and their crystals.
Oh my God. Or the rocks. got 50,000 rocks here. And I've washed them, and I've dug them up, and I brought them inside, and I've cleaned them, and all this other stuff, and I have them on display. I am so in tune with the earth. I'm surrounded by freaking rocks.
What do you do with them?
I don't know.
You throw them at people who don't like your opinion. That's what you do.
Well, it's nice to know that they have the rocks for when they bring back that press scene. They're already here.
I've got my rocks.
They won't let me get hurt.
Right.
So let's hear your complaint about the people with the sage.
Sage is not your catch-all. It is not your cure-all. It is not a one-hit wonder. You can't use sage for everything under the sun, and I don't care what type of sage it is. Sage insulates. That's what sage does. Okay?
Oh, so those people who sage themselves down right before going into ritual.
Now, they're doing this. Now, the people I've spoken to are doing this for protection. I'm going to protect myself. With sage, you're insulating your energies to yourself if you're saging yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you talked, and you said we were going somewhere, you talked about going somewhere, and you said, oh, they're going to want to sage us down. And I said, yeah, they will. And you said, you know what, that's fine, sage me down. I don't want you crazy.
Please.
But using it as, well, I need a healing spell. Let's use some sage. Well, I'm going to money, sage, sex, sage, love, sage. It is not your catch-all. These, and again, I'm going to go back to laziness, because you don't want to do your homework and figure out what it is you need. You're going to get that sage. Get the sage. It's hanging in there. I have seen vehicles. It's hanging in the rearview mirror. For the love of God, I just don't understand. I love sage for what it's for.
It does
not
have
for
its
everything.
purposes.
We're going to clean the house and go through the corners with the sage to get the negative energy out of the corners. No, you're not. You know what you've just done? You've went to those corners and you've made sure those negative energies aren't going anywhere. You have insulated them in that corner now.
But I can't feel them anymore, so they must be gone.
Wrong.
To me, it's the equivalent of, I put all my dirty clothes underneath the bed. I can't see them, so therefore they're not dirty anymore.
No, and I'll go one step farther. You've insulated this negative space. What's that energy doing? Do you think it's just sitting there? And you've insulated it, so it can't even disperse. It's just going to grow and grow and grow. It's like the dirty clothes on your bed. How are they getting there? They're going to continue to get there. It just drives me bananas. Do your research.
Dirty clothes are like rabbits. They just keep on multiplying.
They do. And the same with negative energy. It will grow. Well, everybody else is using sage. Well, everybody else is an idiot. Okay? I'm serious. It drives me crazy.
One thing that does drive me up the wall are the ones that sit there and make our religion sound like all rainbows and unicorns.
Not mine.
And you talk to them, and they're like, oh, yes, and fairies are wonderful, and I'm going to wear my fairy wings today and, cast glitter all over me and just be bubbly. Because, I've done my meditation, I have my rainbows, and the world's wonderful, and I've hugged up 500 trees today, and I have communed with nature. You went to a freaking park.
Right. Right.
All right? Now, I do live out in the country. I have communed with nature. The nature I commune with can be a little violent. Okay, it can be a lot violent. Especially when you're sitting there meditating or sitting there watching an owl down and, take a field mice.
Right.
This is not, and then you follow and you see them eat the field mice. This is not a pleasant thing.
Where's the rainbow?
Where's that rainbow as the blood gushes from the mouse?
I don't know what happened. I think I'm offended when people talk about our religion being as rainbows.
it's less about the rainbows and stuff like that. It's that, for me, it's that attitude. It's that, oh, nothing's wrong, and, I cast spells to just make sure everything's perfectly all right.
It's the same people that say I'm a baby witch with the sage in one hand and the crystal in the other.
And their unicorn wand.
And their unicorn wand that pisses glitter. Man, no.
And it makes me wonder, as traditionalists, where did we go wrong? Where did we allow all this to devolve into this? I mean...
You have a good point.
Because now you sit there and you go, hey, yeah, this is what I am, and some people look at you like, oh, you're one of those tree-hugging, hippy-dippy people. And you're kind of like, no.
Isn't that truth? It is two extremes of people who don't know. We're either tree-hugging hippy-dippies or we're Satanists. And it's like, really? That's what we are? Either one or the other? Something else that bothers me is that I'm going to try to keep this just to the pagan community, but I feel like everybody is too scared to say the truth. It might hurt someone's feelings. It might bother somebody. It might offend somebody. And so people sugarcoat fact, or they leave out fact, or they believe things, or they say things that's not true because it can hurt somebody's feelings. And I think that, besides the baby witch, is one of my biggest pet peeves. Call a spade a spade.
Right. I don't tend to sugarcoat stuff. I really do hate it when I'm sitting there and I'm, doing my lectures, doing my classes with these people, and people apparently don't listen or don't even sit there and ask me for clarification about certain things I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah.
And then they automatically assume I'm talking about this or that. And I know a lot of people get upset with me about my views on male and females. And apparently you weren't listening.
Right.
It makes me feel like I have to wear a shirt, a lot of times that has that phrase on it. I'm only responsible for what I'm saying, not what you hear, to make people rethink that.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. No, I do. Even so, let's say you were talking about the, stop me if I can't talk about it, but let's say we were talking about the elements or the elementals, and we're saying masculine and feminine to describe them. Now, we know what that is. Okay?
Right.
But say someone else goes, well, I'm offended. I don't want any kind of male energy in my circle, whatever. Screw you. This is the way that it is. And if you don't like it, that's right. I mean, that's like all right, let's start going to a Christian church again and going, yeah, I'm not comfortable with Jesus being a Jew. I think he should be Rastafarian. Yeah? Tough. Screw you. This is the way that it is. If you're not happy with it, don't join it, because this is fact. This is the way that it is. Well, everybody should love everybody. Yeah, well, everybody don't love everybody. And everybody don't like everybody. No. And that's the way that it is. And I don't have to give you information, and I don't have to talk to you. And that is another thing. I don't know where this came from. If you are in this community, then all of a sudden, you have to give out information. Well, we just love to give out information. Wiccans love to give out information. Are you crazy? We don't. We will. But no, we don't love it. I don't think there's anything less that you don't like doing than talking to someone green.
Oh, I'm not going to give them it. I'm not going to sit there and give anybody any information that I think will lead to them hurting themselves or others.
But I thought you had to because of the religion you're in. Am I confused?
No.
All that crap drives me crazy.
And some people have to understand, especially when you're a high priest or a priestess, is sometimes we have to make decisions on what information we give out and information we don't. There are some times that we're not allowed to give out information because oaths that were sworn when we were initiated. We take oaths to not reveal certain mysteries, and we don't. And you want to sit there and go, oh, well, you're gatekeeping, you're holding this up. No, I have to honor my oaths.
By gatekeeping, and what's wrong with that?
What's that? If you want to learn, go through the same process I did.
Hell yes, I gatekeep. I'm very protective over my religion. Yes, I am, and I will gatekeep the hell out of that.
But as far as us being stiff shirts and stuff, no. We can be on certain things.
Certain things, yeah.
You've met a lot of high priestesses and high priests over the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. And you've even came to the conclusion that we all seem to be cut from the same cloth.
Oh, yeah.
Most traditionalists don't put up with certain things. You're not going to come in and be rude.
No.
No. You're not going to come in and be disrespectful.
Oh, that respect has to be there. Yes, it does. Mm-hmm.
You're not going to go into a group of traditionalists and go, oh, yeah, here, I need a spell for this.
No.
The traditionalists don't give out spells.
No.
People ask me that all the time, and I'm sitting there going, hey, there's 50,000 books. There's a book out there called like 1001 Spell Book. Go get it. Why do I need to tell you a spell? Like I got some secret spell that's, 2,000 years old that works all the freaking time.
Right. No, it's, the sacred text, right?
Yeah.
Passed down from witch to witch to witch.
That ain't quite what's passed down.
No.
The stuff we pass down is more self-illuminating.
Yeah.
Working on yourself versus working on other people. You don't get along with this person, then what's wrong with you? Attitude.
No. I don't want to work on myself. Instead, I just want to spell with some sage. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to meditate and do any of the work. I'm just going to sage myself down. I'm going to smudge, sage everywhere I go. That's what I want to be doing. That's how I'm going to get. Oh, my God.
I really hate those in the religion that come in and they're more like, I'm such and such of such and such, and I got this many degrees, and I'm descended from Charlemagne or something. What?
Charlemagne.
I mean, they come in and they are these, like, you should be impressed upon who they are, and they are so busy tooting their own horns.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand for us traditionalists, yes, we come in and we go, yeah, I'm Chase Knightsmith. I'm a 3rd degree at Life Temple and Seminary.
Have I ever heard you say that?
I mean, as far as introductions go, yeah, that's it.
I mean, it seems like I think people are usually introducing you.
Right. I was out of gay pride, and I had to introduce myself to somebody because he asked me who I was, and he's sitting there going, ooh, I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, you're him.
You keep telling yourself that.
You keep telling yourself that, At the end of the day, you know what? I put my pants legs on just like you do. Okay, maybe not just like you. I sit on the bed and put them both on at the same time.
You don't fly into them.
I don't fly into them. I do put them both on at the same time, but that's because I can no longer stand up. With one leg, put them on at the same time.
Fun to watch you try. Do on one leg.
I'll fall over and break a hip.
Please don't. Please don't.
Well, I'm out of coffee.
Oh, I've been out of coffee.
Thank you for listening to Pagan Coffee Talk. I hope you join us next week.
We travel down this trodden path, the maze of stone and mire. Just hold my hand as we pass by a sea of blazing pyres. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks.